What's up, you guys? This is Zay Brooks, and this is episode 27 of a show that I do not know the title to yet. Today, what I want to talk about is the circle of suffering and how people will create these contracts with themselves to live in stress and act like it's something that they don't want, but their subconscious is truly comfortable in struggling, in frustration, in envy, and all these negative emotions. It almost makes them feel like, okay, I'm suffering, so that means I'm working for something, so I should keep going, right? I had this thought because, one of my best friends, I always mention a best friend and they never say who. It's not the same best friend every time. This individual, I feel as though I expressed to him, I was like, your life doesn't have to be filled with frustration. You claim you don't want these negative things to happen to you, but then you put yourself in these positions to almost like inevitably experience frustration or, negative emotions and ultimately pain and suffering. And life, I believe, in my anecdotal experience, isn't supposed to be lived like that. To me, I think a lot of life should be spent thinking, strategizing, contemplating, reflecting, doing a lot of inner work. And then as above, so below, the work you do on the inside is a reflection of your reality on the outside. A lot of people will cling to this frustration or cling to the suffering and then never work on themselves. So then it's like like I said, it's a cycle. It's a vicious cycle of rather spending your time doing other things that will frustrate you to make you feel like you're growing, when in actuality, all you're doing is just putting yourself in situations time and time again where, oh man, my life is this, or oh, this situation feels like that, and why does this always happen to me? And because you're placing yourself in there, in that situation time and time and time again. One comparison I'd like to make, right, and I know I'm I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but there are situations where people say, okay, I'm in this relationship with this woman or this man, and although they bring me tons of pain and suffering, and things that I don't want in a partner, I feel as though the suffering means growth. So then I'll stick around because I feel like the thought of the relationship that I have in my mind can become a reality if I choose to suffer long enough. Or simply put, they don't know what to do, so they end up becoming, because humans are extremely adaptable, they end up becoming adapted to the suffering, which is even worse than what I had previously said about, okay, at least I'm growing. Some people are like, you know what? This maybe is just the life I'm meant to live, a.k.a. limitations, a.k.a. a private, subtle contract that you made in your own subconscious mind that you had no idea even existed. The cycle of suffering is not necessary to achieve success. The cycle of suffering is not necessary to achieve success. Before in the other episodes, I've stated to not have any limitations and to understand that you are the co-creator of your reality with the man above, who is omnipotent, who knows everything you will do, everyone you will know. Because that is so, I kid you not, you can decide how you choose to see success. Yes, there is hard work, but that doesn't mean that hard work is pain and suffering. There are things that are going to the gym or working on editing or building a business. Yeah, sure, that might be difficult or that might be something that you don't really want to do, but is it painful? Is it filled with suffering? I don't think so. I think pain and suffering in the standard deviation of occurrences, obviously there's traumas that happen in your childhood and there's things that are very unfortunate, right? But in the totality or the majority of things that take place, pain and suffering to me is something that you can truly influence. It's not something you have to experience time and time again. Let's say a situation brought me pain and suffering. I have the ability to choose again not to experience that same scenario with that person, place, thing, job, boss, experience, whatever. I'm not saying you can totally avoid pain and suffering, but to experience the cycle of suffering constantly has less to do with your reality and more to do with your inner being, your inner sense of self, your subconscious mind almost identifying with that suffering, with that disappointment or pain or envy or frustration. It's a cycle, and that's the best example I can make is with the relationship part. Is you guys know what I'm talking about, where people are like, oh, it just makes sense to, not leave because we built all this, and so I should just enjoy the pain. And And people think, oh, that's so bad. Shame on them. Shame on them. I can't believe you're in a relationship. Blah, blah, blah. Imagine being in a relationship with your career, with your friends, with your dreams and aspirations, and you're choosing to stay there because you think you're building something. You think this is worthwhile, or even worse, you just simply identify with the pain and suffering, thinking that needs to be your reality. You're setting in stone the identity to which you choose to experience. You're literally saying, nah, this pain and suffering, it's comical. This pain, and it's subconscious, so obviously a lot of people can't tell that they're doing this, but I am choosing to live in this pain and suffering. This is my reality. I choose to walk by sight and not by faith. So this must be my current reality for as long as I'm alive, for as long as I need to, until I make this amount of money or this or that. It's like you set these conditions, these contracts. I choose to live in this suffering if X, Y, Z, A, B, C. If, and then not to mention you're living in the if, right? If. Those are hypotheticals. If I had this money, if I had this career, your subconscious mind is thinking, okay, well, our life can't begin to flourish. The fruits of our labor, God blessing us in ways that we couldn't imagine, can't begin until we have this. Because my subconscious mind is thinking, okay, well, we live in an if and then. So I need something that I'm creating distance between that I'll never be able to have because I keep saying if. That's why, in my opinion, this might be a tangent, you change the ifs into wins or I ams. Training your subconscious mind, that's the law of attraction in essence, to say, I already am living in this state. Everything is attracted to me. Opportunities are flying left and right. Whatever it is that I need is already on its way. I trust God. I trust myself. The lack of law of manifestation, the lack of visualization or placing yourself in the present moment allows you to believe that your reality is inflicted upon you. It's like a hurt puppy. You think, okay, I can't inflict upon my reality. This must be the reality that I choose to live in. If my circumstances were to change, I would need this, if that. So that thing will never happen because it's an if. So because of that, I guess I just have to settle in this pain and suffering. I have to sit here with this job that I don't like, or this relationship I don't want to be in, or these friends that suck, or a boss that's this, or a roommate that's that. I have to live in this because I'm limiting myself to experience this unless something crazy, dreamlike state, God being a genie and granting me with this lottery ticket wish. Only then will my life change? Do you understand how, that you're setting yourself up for so much third dimensional existence failure. Your human life is now, you've pushed it and created an identity with this suffering and pain and failure. The limitations as to what you think can happen in your life is holding you to that standard. It's funny, whatever you think is gonna happen, this life, this job, this, you end up getting those things, both the good and the bad. Oh, you want this job? Suddenly you get the job. You want this girl? Oh, suddenly you get the girl. You want this guy? You suddenly get the guy. You want these friends? You want this opportunity? You suddenly have the opportunity to get that. But it also works in the negative order. When you say things out loud like, yo, this type of day, or this type of job, or this is how my life is, or this is the way my career is going, or I'll never get this. That is the pure manifestation. Your pain and suffering is created by your own proclamation of it happening. Your lack of open-mindedness as to what can take place in this reality, the proclamation and your negative self-talk about your journey, about your life, about your career. And then even worse, right? This is the craziest part, and I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but you take everything that I just said and then you go out in the world and play victim. Oh, woe is me. Oh, my life sucks. Oh, I don't even like saying that. I can't believe I just said that. That is not what I mean to myself. It's just words or spells. So you don't even want to say that out loud. And that's not what I mean because my thoughts are not my words. And I was thinking in terms of you guys. So not saying you guys feel like this, but you get what I'm trying to say. So my life is like this and I experience jobs like this and woe is me. And, oh, are you mad at me because my life and trauma and this and this? You take the identification of the pain and suffering so much, you think it's something that you need to share with the world. It's not enough for you to internalize. It's something that you feel like you have to proclaim, that this pain and suffering is a cycle that I'm meant to experience on. And because of that, I'm going to try to inflict and project my reality onto you and negatively influence you to think that life is like this and your job and this and life and whoop-de-whoop. And now you're going to go home and feel that your pain and suffering cycle is so imminent, so defined. You have no other choice but to try to share that with other people. Listen to what I'm saying. Playing victim and thinking that you are the product of your circumstances, so that's the way you're meant to live because of the things that happen to you. Woe is me, woe is me. Not only are you effing yourself, you're effing the people around you, people that you meet on the bus, people that you meet in the airport. That stuff is so contagious. That sharing of the cycle of pain and suffering. That's why it's hard for friends to get together or family to get together and like really talk about awesome things or things that they want to do or like really cool stuff that's hypothetical and in the future, but it's like the manifestation, the visualizations and the things that we want. But it's so easy to talk about like the evil stuff that's happened or bad things that someone did to you or the gossip, or because it's like we become addicted. It's an addiction to the negative concepts, the pain and suffering and the victimization of life. That's easy to do. But to live in discipline, to live in a place where we visualize the positive, get out of the cycle of pain and suffering and understand, although there may be unfortunate circumstances, that is not a permanent reality. I choose to live in the manifestation that good things happen to me. I am an extremely lucky person. Every single opportunity is flowing to me. I live in full abundance. I choose the life I want to live. I choose the job I want to have. I'm free as a bee. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, simply because I want to. Choosing to live on that side is hard, bro. There's so much doubt. There's so much other people expressing their negativity and their victimization of life and their pain and suffering on you. You see reality in the people, the way they choose to live their life, and you're thinking, man, that's uninspiring, or maybe that is the way that life's supposed to live. Oh no, I'm back in this limitation mindset. It's difficult to live outside of that cycle of pain and suffering. And then there's people who, I guess they don't necessarily live in the pain and suffering cycle, but they're realists. So they think that this is a reality that they have to just be a part of. I truly believe, I swear to you guys, I swear to you, and it almost makes me emotional to think about it. I wake up at like 6:30 in the morning and I can't go back to sleep. Like life is truly like so good. I promise you. But it's not like things have changed for me. Like, things have changed, but, like, I don't know, man. Like, life is so good, bro. Like, I genuinely feel when I wake up, like, there's so many things to be had, so many opportunities, so much abundance in life. And I guess what I'm telling you is, in my living testament, I feel as though I don't even live near there. I don't even exist near the pain and suffering cycle. I don't. And I think it makes me feel like guilty sometimes talking to people about it. Like my best friend, for example, at the beginning of the episode, I'm telling him like, man, you don't have to live here. You keep putting yourself in this position where you put yourself where you're multitasking, and then the one thing that you really wanted you couldn't have because these other things that you couldn't control the variables that affected you, and then you end up playing this game afterwards, and the video game like frustrates you, so that leads you into your next thing, and then you're over here like at this other store, and this is hypothetical now, but you're at the store or you're doing this other thing, and those two things of pain and suffering and frustration bring you into this next thing, and now your whole day is filled with that. Then you go to bed mad, you wake up mad, now into your next day, the morning starts, like it's just, the cycle can happen so quickly, and it can stay around because it's easier to be like, you know what? I just live in this reality. I'm just this is just life. It comes towards me and I have to just deal with it for whatever happens. So I must live in this pain and suffering. I must live here. I must settle for this thing or this person or this friend or career or boss, roommate. You can so quickly get into this cycle subconsciously without even knowing it. One thing I want to say really quick, for those of you that know me and know where I'm from, you know where I'm at. And so I just wanted to say this as I came and sat down about to make this episode. I was like, man, I think it is really important at some point in all of our lives, if we want to do something that's unprecedented, I think it's important to leave your hometown. I think it's important to find somewhere that challenges you to meet new people, try something new. And that's not to say that if I'm from Northern California, I got to go live in Florida for the rest of my life or go live in New York. No, I'm saying just to try something different. Who's to know the network and opportunities and all these things that can happen in your life just by simply moving away and meeting somebody completely new. And there's nothing wrong with living in your hometown and growing here and being here. I'm not trying to attack people for that. I just think it's important. In the Bible, it even talks about, and I don't want to botch you here, so please correct me if I'm wrong. In order to be somebody or do something that nobody else is willing to do, you have to be able to be okay with the ridicule of your family and the ridicule of your hometown. And if it comes down to it, you must leave your hometown to proclaim or do something that's unprecedented in nature. And for those of you that aren't really religious or don't, follow the Bible, which is totally fine. This is a place for everybody. You know examples of people in your life or maybe even on the internet that say, yeah, I left my hometown and went to go experience this new thing. I met this new person and then X, Y, Z, ABC, all these things happened for me and my life is nowhere near the same. And that's not to say that your hometown won't be here when you get back. The people that I know and love in this city, every time I come back, no offense, but I see the same people. What are you on? Same stuff. But what are you on? Well, to be honest with you, I'm a part of this company now, and I travel around, and I get paid to be me, and it's awesome, and I'm flourishing, and I really enjoy life, and I love my friends and my family, and life, it's like, I will say, in your hometown, it is a lot harder to spread your wings and figure out something new because of a lot of the markets that your family knows or your parents' friends knows. Those markets are already tapped in a sense, and to be honest with you, a lot of times people hate the most from people in their own hometown. I'm not saying that I feel that. I love my city, but I guess there are times where I do feel like, man, seeing somebody who's like that close to you, like, dang, he's right across the street and he's living life like this. Why didn't I choose to live life like that? Well, what am I going to do? I'm going to create a pain and suffering cycle and think, wow, I must feel envious towards this person because that will ultimately help me and my life and maybe even the things that I regret about my life. Man, he went and did this. I could have really did that. I could have really went and built that business or been a content creator or went and played college basketball, but I didn't have my priorities. I didn't have discipline. I didn't have the all these things. So because of that, I'll live in the cycle of pain and suffering, add it to the pain and suffering cycle and express envy. Or I might have a connection for them, but I'm not going to give it to them because I feel envious. Or I simply want what they have, even though I'll never, ever make an effort to get there. So because I may want to someday do what they do, I'll never help them. Because they're so close in proximity. A lot of the love, to be honest with you, to be completely honest, a lot of the major love that I get from people in terms of my community or the content comes from people who I had never even met. The most random places. Kids coming up to me, oh my goodness, I love the content. Dap me up, can I get a picture? Oh my goodness. But then it's like if I'm in my hometown, I don't know. I'm just making an example here. This is hypothetical. This hasn't happened yet, but I feel as though a lot of the times people are like, oh, that's what's his name. Oh, he goes and does that. Oh, he's this and this. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, gossip. He's close to us. I can't really show love. I can't let the gang know that I fuck with him. We went to the same high school. We went to the same this. Like, all that to say, getting out of your hometown is super important. Let those people watch you from a distance. They already were anyways. They never saw you in your city. What does it matter if you're here? The only things that should really matter to you are your family and your really close friends. But other than that, they're a phone call away. FaceTime exists, calls exist. You barely see people in the first place. Just leave. Try some other shit. And for me, in Northern California, it's way more expensive. I moved to Texas for 3 years before I came back. I live in Northern California. I don't live in my hometown, but I came back to Northern California. In those 3 years, the amount of money that I spent was far less just trying something different. The amount of people that I met, the things that I did, the networking and the connections, and a lot of the things that happened in my life were in like this lockstep format. Once I decided to take this leap of faith to do something completely different, like live in a different state for 3 years, 2,000 miles away from anybody that I've ever known, crazy things happened. It's like unprecedented conditions create unprecedented results. Living here in your hometown, what does that really do? It's a lot of things that you know are going to happen. People you know you're going to talk about. People that know this person, or you date around and you know that this person dated that person. Like, it's very mundane. It's very simple. And again, that's the comfortability and almost even the pain and suffering cycle that people choose to live in subconsciously. So I guess that's a great tie into what I'm talking about. But get out of your hometown if you can, especially you 18, 19, 20-year-olds. I moved out. I went to college, and I moved out at 18. And I grew up so much in those couple years. There was a lot of things to learn, and I had a lot of big bros. I played college basketball. They helped me out and becoming the man I am today. It's super important. You meet new people. Your time management's a lot better. You don't get to lean on anybody, right? My scholarship check came in, and if I fucked that off, it was over. It was curtains. I had to go back home. I didn't have enough money. I couldn't get my degree, so it gave you a lot of responsibility early. I was 18 years old. I could have went and been an absolute idiot at my college. Right? Moving out of town, not being able to lean on people like that, it creates a sense of self-autonomy. That's very important for you if you want to go somewhere or do something that's unprecedented, because nobody's going to help you. Everybody from your hometown, everybody from anywhere is going to be right there at the beginning. Oh my God, congratulations. I can't believe you're starting this project. I can't believe you're starting this business, this idea. And then that whole middle part, you are lonely. Lonely. Then you make it, boom. Everybody's right back. Oh my God, I remember when you first started, I was right there. I was this, and this. Man, congratulations. How did you do it? It seemed like it happened just like that. Get out of your hometown, bro. If you got some family in a different state, in a different city, try that out. Try to go to a different, cheaper state where stuff's a lot cheaper. Texas, for example, from California, rent for me was under $1,000 and gas was $2. So put that in perspective, brother. So, anyways, back to the task at hand. The pain and suffering cycle is something that in my life, I felt like I obviously experienced. It sucks to say this, and I'm not saying that having a 9-to-5 is bad, but when I had one, that's when I felt the most addicted to pain and suffering. Man, 9-to-5, Monday through Friday, I have to endure this thing that I don't want to do. So then on the weekend, I have to go do things that I don't get a chance to do during the week. Now I'm drinking. Now I'm out till 2 a.m. Now I'm hanging around people that aren't really pushing for who they want to be. So then I'm kind of frustrated as to why I spent my weekend like that. But then Monday comes, and it's like, man, okay, well, back to doing something that I don't want to do, because it makes me enough money to where I'm decently happy in life, and I might be able to buy a Tesla, right? And so it's like, man, maybe I just stick it out, and then the cycle repeats, and then a month goes by, and you're like, you know what, maybe this isn't too bad. Maybe this is the life that I'm, supposed to live, and something else inconveniences me really small in my life, or something that I really want to be. And it's like, man, that was frustrating, but due to all the things that happen in my life with going out on the weekends and not enjoying that and my job, it makes this insignificant, really small thing that inconvenienced me way more important. And I just add that to my bag of pain and suffering cycle. And then my subconscious mind is like, man, you know what? Maybe this is the life we're meant to live. A plethora, an infinite reality of things can take place in our life, but Isaiah wants to choose to live life this way. So who am I as his subconscious to tell him or show him other things that could give him a different experience in life? It's the hardest thing to grasp. Anything and everything is possible in your life. Can you believe that a cargo plane right now could go by, and for some reason they have too much cargo and they need to drop $1 million, and it comes down in a parachute and it drops down right here during the show, and I pick it up and the note says, whoever finds it, it's yours. Can you believe that? Can you just try to believe it? No way, no shot, no chance. Right? Okay, well, let me make it more believable. Mr. Beast, right? He emails me after this video. He goes, hey, you're our 10 million at our 10 million subscriber giveaway. We scrolled and found you. You're our one subscriber. Here's $1 million. Is that probable? Is that possible? Way more possible than the cargo ship. And dropping down. Yeah, that's more possible, but still, there's no way out of his 169 million followers that he's going to pick you. And okay, well, check this out. Let's say after this episode, I walk down the street. I meet, let's say I want to be a broadcaster, ESPN broadcaster, just for the namesake of it, right? Let's say I want to be an ESPN broadcaster, and I'm walking down the street, and I end up meeting Mark Phillips, the guy that goes, it's hotter than fish grease. He's in his bag, like the fries at the bottom. And I shake his hand. Right, and we talk, and come to find out they're looking for a young person in their mid-20s to be the next ESPN spokesperson, whatever, blah, blah. Because he's in Sacramento, right? Let's say he has family out here for whatever reason, and he's just simply walking down the street, and I shake his hand. And now I get the opportunity to do that. A couple years later, I'm in there. and now I'm one of the spokespersons for ESPN. Is that not possible? Well, yeah, but for him to walk on the street and then, you see, you would rather live in the cycle of pain and suffering. That's okay. That's okay. Just live there. Just live there where you think your life, that you have this omnipotent idea as to what exactly the opportunity is going to come about in order for you to go be this person that you've always wanted to be. Oh, no, the only way that it could happen is if this happens, if this and this and this. Like you know. Versus somebody like that. You know, right? Like, then just live over there. That's the frustrating part. You just live over there then, where you think life is going to happen. And funny enough, life will happen the way you think, so you're actually kind of right. But imagine if you changed that mindset and thought, no, I want to be open-minded and anything and everything is truly possible and the abundance of opportunities is flowing towards me and God is working for this, for me, because I have a chief definite aim, burning desire, and unwavering faith. This will happen. It's like you're right and you're wrong. You're right to think that nothing will happen, but you're wrong to think that you can't imprint on your reality and whatever you say becomes reality. That is the law of attraction in essence. You have zero doubt that your life is meant to be like this flatlining, boring, whatever, settling, pain and suffering cycle life. Then that's what it is. It's exactly what happened. Is that not crazy? Think about the life that you want to live. Are you not living the life that you said you want to live? And if not, you're pretty darn close. Or you're on your way, or whatever it is, or you've already been there and you're too busy thinking about what the next thing is. You forgot that what you asked for a year ago is what you already have. That was crazy that my video stopped and I'm so far away. It said 29 minutes. So it's like, I don't know if the universe was trying to tell me, hey, wrap it up, because you don't want to keep them for too long. I don't know how it just stopped like that. I have enough storage. I put my phone on airplane mode. That was kind of crazy. But in any case, yeah, let's wrap it up. What I'd like to do is a guided meditation. So if you can find somewhere on the ground, somewhere that feels comfortable, say crisscross applesauce on the ground, on your bed. I'll give you 5 seconds to do that. All right. What I want you to do is to close your eyes. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. So in and out. 2 more times. In and out. 1 more time. In and out. And keep your eyes closed for me. And we're going to simply just breathe here. So in through your nose, out through your mouth. They don't have to be as big. And what I want you to do is repeat the mantra, I am here now. My mind is nowhere else. My time is nowhere else. I exist here and now. And just keep breathing. In through your nose, out through your mouth. You'll start to feel your jaw unclench. You'll start to feel your shoulders drop down. Your lower back will get untightened. Your body will start to feel loose. Oh, it feels so comfortable. It's like you've been waiting for this peace for a while, and all it took was 15 seconds of intentional thinking and breathing. In through your nose, out through your mouth. And you'll feel your mind start to wander, and that's okay. Allow those thoughts to pass like a red car across the highway and come back. I am here now. And what I want you to do is think about the highest version of yourself. Visualize the person who you've always wanted or are or whatever. Think about that highest version. The success, the money, the relationships, all of it. Think about it. And my question to you is, why would we choose to think about any other life except that one? Is it because we don't think that that life can or will exist? And if, honestly, for a lot of you, the question is yes, I don't think that can exist. Why is that the case? What limitations are you setting on your life? What cycle of pain and suffering are you choosing to live in? To think that your subconscious mind is identifying so much with your current reality. We walk by faith and not by sight. Keep your eyes closed, keep breathing. We walk by faith and not by sight. Everything that I need exists in my mind's eye, my open-mindedness, and my faith in the man above. Once I understand that, I now know that God is not a genie, and I need to work towards the life that I want and not settle for the life that I have. Keep breathing. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Anything and everything happens for a reason. And the plethora of infinite realities that can exist in your life, we couldn't even begin to fathom because it's not our job to. All we're supposed to do is find a chief definite aim, a burning desire for it, and unwavering faith so that the physical equivalent will be inevitable through God's will. You can open your eyes now. Using that mantra, I am here now, in your meditation is very, very good. Even if you, like I said, you're watching a YouTube ad and it's got 15 seconds, take 3 deep breaths and say, I am here now. You know, you're in your car and your mom's going to do the oil change or whatever. She has to go run an errand and you got some moments to yourself. Put that phone away. Pause the music just for 5 minutes. I am here now. Breathing in and out. Taking those moments. Reflecting. Thinking about, am I pushing to be the best version of myself? What is it that I want? Am I really pushing for that? And if not, then why would I ever expect to get what it is that I want in this life if I'm not working for it? God is not a genie. God, can you please bless me with this money and all these things that I want? No. What he's going to do is give you the opportunity to take full advantage to reach those dreams and get those things that you want. God is not a genie. God is not a genie. Appreciate you guys, man. Life is good. Life is truly, truly good. Live with no limitations. Anything is possible. I love you guys, man. Truly. All right. I'll see you next time.